you're a fan of anime, tabletop gaming, or both, don't miss an episode of Heathen Dogs, Heathen Dogma. Every week, Heathen Dog alternates between anime reviews and tabletop gaming fundamentals. Watch live and chat with Heathen Dog every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time to share your thoughts and recommendations with him. And now, without further ado, I present to you a time of immortals, a time of legends, a time where men could walk down the streets and be proud because there were no streets. Fires forged the future, and everyone knew the power of a man by the blood on his fists. And in those days, one went forth with gusto and adventure to grab all the world could hold for him, until he realized that with reason one could overcome even those brutish thug, the most massive mastodon, the most snarling of saber-tooth, and then with reason at your side, and logic as your guide, you could be the one to raise society to a new level, so you could bring it all down in flames and own it like the god you are. Heathen Dog, Tabletop RPG Fundamentals.
Wow. All right, well, I'm having trouble following that. Okay, I got the stage fright now. Wow. Okay,
Subscribe!
hello everyone. Hey, subscribe. That's right. You got to subscribe. If you watch this on
too.
YouTube. Yeah,
Subscribe on YouTube, watch on
Subscribe on
YouTube, love on YouTube.
That's right. Today we'll be talking about no anime reviews tonight, Ravenslayer.
Nope. Give away a game.
Oh, we're giveaway starting already? Oh, jeez. Okay.
Ravenslayer's no anime review tonight. No, we alternate between anime and RPGs.
Alternate. Today is the RPG one, and we're opening our first giveaway for the game Ashes of the Singularity Escalation.
Ooh.
And if you want to win that, you go ahead and type in !Ashes.
Duncan is asking, is this a Stardock RTS? That's a resounding he doesn't know.
I've never
Singularity
played it. I watched it play once.
It's planetary warfare on a galactic scale. Ooh.
Yeah, it is, but I do believe it's not real-time strategy. I believe it's turn-based.
It looks real-time. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, we're looking this up.
Yep. Gameplay. There we go. It is a real-time multiplayer strategy game set in real time. Okay, yep, there it is.
Yeah, for the makers of people who did Sins of a Solar Empire. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, yep, real time.
That's Stardock, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and Galactic Civilizations 3 has an 85% sale on an anniversary right now. But that's not here. That's not what we're selling. That's not what we're giving away. We're giving away this one. All right, now 10 people have to roll on this.
For us to give it away. That's right. We need 10 people to enter.
Right now we got 5.
It's got lasers on Soul Gary.
There's 15 people watching, so join up.
That's right. Get in here. Giveaway time.
That's right. While we're doing that, let's talk about GURPS. All right, the publication date. First came out in 1986. The edition we're using is the latest edition, 4th edition, which came out in 2004, which apparently people like because it's been, 15 years? They haven't changed it yet? So there you go. Publisher Steve Jackson Games. I'm sure you heard of him. And if you want to get your very own copy after watching this, or you're interested, then you can go to Amazon, get the 2 books. You need 2 books to play the game. The basic set characters and the basic set campaigns. One is $36.40 and one is $34.95. You go the PDF route, go to DriveThruRPG, it's $29.99 and $24.99. You want to go to eBay, well, that'll get you $60 to $100 more dollars.
Oh boy.
Get the book. That's a lot of money. So, yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Anyway, today we're talking about character generation. What you need to know before you spend your points. Like I said earlier, if you go into a point system game and you just try and make your character without knowing where all your points are going and what they're doing and how they interact with each other, you're going to have a bad time. This will stop you from having a bad time. First off, let's talk what the point system means. All right. The point system means that instead of rolling for your statistics or some kind of other random chance scenario, you get a set amount of points in the beginning of character generation, and you make your character using those points. When you get to 0, you're done. That's it. So you spend points on just about everything to do with your character. Now, the game master in this game is going to set the point total. As you can see, I have a little chart here. Depending on the power level that he is envisioning for his campaign. If it's a campaign of like I don't know, Muppet Babies, I guess it'd be feeble. So you only have 25 points or under to spend. Because
Well,
you're
also
Muppet
you
Babies.
could be mindless thralls. Ooh.
You could be. That's true. You could be a slave. Be a feeble slave. That's fine. It goes from exceptional, heroic, larger life, legendary, and superhuman. There's one more godlike. It's over 1,000 points, but just no point. It does.
That's just silly at that point.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Now, usually the game starts off between 100 and 200 points. The heroic campaign, around 150. All right, it's usually where you end up landing at first, unless he wants a more pulp noir type stuff. That means you'd be exceptional, or he wants a more galactic level type thing. Then you'd be larger than life. Okay, all depends on the GM's vision. All right, now be careful. If you have 300 points, think, wow, I got 300 points. This is awesome. No, these things go fast, and I'm going to explain why right now. First, you have attributes. All right, now. Attributes are divided into two groups. There's primary and secondary. Your primary attributes are strength, dexterity, intelligence, and health. Your secondary attributes are damage, lifting, hit points, will, perception, fatigue points, basic speed, and basic movement. Now, your secondary attributes are directly calculated from your primary. So you don't choose your secondary. You choose your primary, and all your secondary are derived from that. Now, some of your secondary stats can be raised on their own. Many of them can, but a couple cannot. Don't worry, I'm going to go through them all. You're going to know which ones you have to buff up your main stats for. Now, first, let's talk about your primary attributes. Your strength. Strength is your basic lifting, running. It's tied to hit points, punching, how much damage you do, and attacks. It's your strength. I mean, it's the same many games over. Oh, what happened? What happened?
We just got a message.
Oh, Legionnaires. Famins.
Famins is rating us. Woo!
All right, Famins. Thank you very much. That was outstanding. God, now I lost where I was. Oh, yeah, strength. All right. You start off with
alerted us.
I know, right? I didn't hear the thing, but...
Cliff wants to know if you win. You didn't win yet.
Not yet.
Hi, Twilight Tempest. Oh, we're rated.
That's right. Strength of a base of 10. And if you want to increase to 11, it's going to cost you 10 character points. If you want to decrease to 9, it'll give you back 10 character points to spend elsewhere. So if you're making like a wizard, you don't need that strength of 10. You go down to strength of 8.
Sure.
You get 20 more points. Put that in your IQ.
That'll be nice.
Dexterity. Again, base of 10. What's derived from dexterity? Well, your overall hand-eye coordination, your nimbleness, your reflexes, fine motor skills, anything like that. Again, base of 10. This is for human. Now, if the game master wants to make racial modifiers, like an elf or a dwarf would have racial modifiers, they can. It's fine. You can do that, but this is for straight up human, just averaging out. Yep. Again, plus 10 character points will give you a 1, bring you up to 11. And if you want to go down to a 9, you'll get 10 character points back. Now, actually, no. Dexterity and intelligence are 20 each. I don't know why it says 10.
Oh, it's my Tempest. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Dexterity is 20. Is dexterity and intelligence are 20. I don't know why it says that. Oh, Tempest, thank you for the sub. Dexterity and intelligence.
As a sub, that makes you eligible for the special giveaways.
Yes. If you type in !ashes right now, you can win not only for later on. If you get the game later on, you can win not only the game but access to my private server for the game. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But
also, there are 3 $25 Amazon gift cards given away today.
Yes, and you are now eligible for those as well.
Yes.
Now back to my mistake so I can move on. All right. Dexterity and intelligence is a 20 point for an increase. So it's 20 character points for a +1 increase, a 20 character point buyback for a -1 decrease. And health is just like strength. It's a 10. And health is your overall health, your stamina. It's incorporated your stamina. It's incorporated with your hit points, incorporated with your resistance to disease and toxins and such. All of that comes into play with your base health. Now, going to the secondary attributes. Hit points by default is exactly the same as your strength. Your hit points equals your strength. Now, you can raise this standalone. For 2 character points, you get a +1 bonus to your hit points. If you want character points back, if you want to be a little weaker, a little more feeble, it's for your character. Who knows? If you take your health, if you take your points down by 1, you'll get 2 character points back. Will, defaulting to your IQ. Now, will is your resistance to psychological torture and a lot of spells and or psionic abilities. This is what you use for will. And if you want to increase it, it'll cost you 5 character points to get a +1, and you get 5 character points back for a -1. Your perception, again, defaulting to your IQ. Your perception is how much you notice things. If you can detect something before it becomes harmful, like you bring a drink to your mouth, and right before you are to drink it, you smell that it smells off. Well, it's been poisoned, and you were able to detect that because you smelled almonds or whatever, whatever poison it was, blah, stuff like that. And again, it's 5 points for a +1. You get 5 points back for a -1. Fatigue points. This one is special. Fatigue points is your base stamina. It's how long you can run, how long you can hold something up that's super heavy, how long you can go without food, how long you can swim until you drown, stuff like that. Fatigue points are also used when casting spells and using psionic abilities. They're also your mana pool for mages and psionics.
Makes
all right,
sense.
so when you run out of fatigue points, you have to start burning hit points to power magic and psionics. And if you want to stay awake or you want to keep running or keep swimming, you have to burn hit points to do so. If you want more fatigue points, 3 points will get you a +1. If you don't need as many as you have, lose 1, you'll get 3 points back. Now, more secondary attributes. Your basic lift. This is your strength times your strength. That's not a typo. It's strength times itself divided by 5. Now, an average person, that means 10 times 10, that's 100, divided by 5 is 20. That's 20 pounds. Now, basic lift is what you can lift in 1 second with 1 hand. So according to this game, the average person can lift 20 pounds over their head in a second or less with 1 hand. Okay. I'll buy it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's dead on, but it's close enough. Close enough going to work. Now, you can modify this, obviously, by taking extra time to get that 20 pounds up, or using 2 hands. There are modifiers to it where it's not divided by 5, it's divided by 4, then divided by 3, stuff like that. And then there's your basic speed. Your basic speed is your health plus your dex divided by 4. You get your speed. Now, your basic speed is used for running speed, your dodge chance, and your combat order. So basically, this is your initiative. So if you're a fighter type guy, off the bat, you want your basic speed high. You don't round this one. You use fractions on this one. So you can easily have a 5.25 basic speed. All right? And that's important because it costs 5 points to get, again, another typo, to get a 0.25 increase. And if you lower it by 0.25, you get 5 points back, because speed is so important to combat and dodge especially, and initiative especially, that it's very, very expensive. To get a whole point, it costs 20. It's just as expensive as raising your dex up 1, which is crazy. All right, so after we've done those attributes, we go into the more utilitarian type stuff. We got damage. Now, damage, unlike other games that you may be used to, damage, it does not vary by weapon. All right, it varies by weapon type. Do you have a slashing weapon, a piercing weapon, a bludgeon weapon? Then there's different damages. But an axe and a sword are both slashing weapons. They both do slashing weapons based on your strength. Damage is based on strength. That's it. Axe, sword, they're both slashing. They have the same damage. I have a special axe. It's super magic. Well, then you get bonuses because it's magic, but your base damage is on your strength.
And you got to remember, you don't want to start yelling, but certain axes,
Nope.
GURPS strips things down.
Yes, GURPS strips it down to make it faster, to make combat faster, to make it easier. They have a table. You just follow the table. My strength is this. You do this damage with a swinging weapon, which is a sword or an axe or a mace or a flail or whatever. It's a swinging weapon.
Mar
All
Hawkman
right.
wants to know if you have a 5.25 speed, you go before a character with a 5.
Yes. That's why you don't lose fractions. People can have speeds that are within fraction of each other, and you need those fractions to determine order. Now, if you tie, if both of you have a 5.25 or both of you have a 5.7 or whatever, then the higher dex goes.
And
if you have the exact same dex, then I don't know what the game master is going to do. I guess you go at the same time.
Coin. Duncan has a question. What about a tardigrade tied to a stick? Is it slashing with tiny claws or is it bludgeoning?
Technically there is no bludgeoning. There's two types of attacks. There's thrusting and slashing. Now, slashing is anything that uses a simple lever as force, like a sword, an axe, a hammer, a mace, a flail. Anything like that is considered slashing.
Well, it would be slashing then.
Exactly. Stuff that is stabbing, like a dagger, a dirk, a rapier, anything that you thrust. That includes punching and kicking. They're considered thrusts. You are not using a lever to amplify the work. It's on this table. So those are the only two tables you work off of for damage. All right. Anyway, now, basic move. This is your speed. Okay? This is the same as your basic speed, but you drop the fractions. You just round to the nearest number. This is how many yards you move in 1 second. Of course, this is modified if you're encumbered, if it's bad terrain or good terrain, or you're going down a hill, going up a hill, whatever. But on a flat playing field, it's your basic speed without the fractions. That's how many yards you go every second. You want to increase that? You can. Plus five character points to give you +1. You don't need to move that fast? Then you can buy it back. Take away 1, you'll get 5 character points. All right, now, those are all your attributes. That's all you need to know about attributes. The important thing to know is what the secondary attributes are derived from. So do you want to raise the secondary attribute for your character, or do you want to raise the base stat, which will raise more than one secondary attribute depending on what's important to you? It's up to you what kind of character you're making. Moving on now to advantages and disadvantages. Now, in a superpower campaign, like a comic book type campaign, advantages and disadvantages would be superpowers. All right. There are different kinds of advantages and different kinds of disadvantages. Some are allowed and some are disallowed depending on the GM's campaign. All right. Disadvantages give you points back, but they make you physically weaker in some area, or mentally weaker or socially weaker in some area. Forever. You get more points for that. Hey, not forever. You can buy it back through gameplay, but still. There are 6 kinds of advantages and disadvantages: mental, physical, and social. Mental. This is a mental advantage. If you're playing a magic, like say a mutant with this power of mind reading, this would be a mental advantage. The one I chose to use an example is altered time rate. What this is, Garthon knows this. When the Flash in the comics is moving at super speed, yes, his mind is also accelerated so he can handle the quick turns and movements and the visual acuity necessary to not just splatter himself against a wall.
Absolutely.
This allows you to do that without moving faster. Your brain works faster. So your brain's working 10 times faster. What it does, it allows you to do 10 rounds worth of thinking and planning in the span of 1 round. Can come in very useful. It's actually, if you've seen Sherlock Holmes starring Robert Downey Jr., the whole thing where he analyzes his opponent before a fight, and he goes through the entire fight in his mind, it's very much like that.
Oh, very cool.
Where he breaks down everything he's going to do in milliseconds that would take other people several seconds to plan out, and then accomplishes it. That's what that power is. Physical, ambidexterity. This one's very simple. It's considered mundane because you don't need to be any kind of special person to be ambidextrous. You need to be born that way. That's all.
You could learn it.
Yeah, well, I suppose you could learn it, but from what I understand, it's incredibly difficult.
Oh yeah.
But you are just as good with your right hand as with your left, or vice versa. You don't take a penalty for attacking, catching, blocking, whatever with your offhand because you don't have an offhand. Now, social advantage. Social advantage, let's say you have allies. This, again, is not tied to a certain power level of campaign or a certain kind. Everyone can have friends. These friends are close friends that you can call upon for special kinds of help. Maybe they have a special skill that every once in a while you'll call upon and they'll do you solid. Maybe they have money. You want to borrow it. They'll do you solid. You bought them as allies. They're going to say yes. Then the next tier is exotic, supernatural, and of course, mundane. Exotic is stuff that normally wouldn't be allowed without severe campaign modifications, like extra limbs. You're either an alien, you have bionic limbs on your body that, you know, you have more bionic limbs. I got robot hands. Okay, you have 8 robot hands. Good for you. You know, extra limbs. Yeah, like I said, the game master, depending on what world he created, can nix any of these advantages or disadvantages because they may not fit in his world. Supernatural. This is the metaphysical type advantage and disadvantage. The one I did was Oracle. Oracle allows you to grasp snippets of the future, to see into the future how things could be, and maybe you can avert it, maybe you can make it come true if it's good, stuff like that. And then there's mundane. Ambidexterity, I would consider mundane as well. The book, I don't think does, but mundane, reputation. All right, reputation. You just have cultivated through hard work, or you were born into a certain class of society, that you have a reputation for good if it's an advantage, or ill if it's a disadvantage. That gives you a social advantage or a social disadvantage when meeting people for the first time, or asking people for favors, or, you know, getting bills passed or nixed or whatever you want to use it for. Your reputation will help or hinder you in that, and anyone can get it. That's why it's a mundane skill. Now, I've said before, all of these are subject to GM approval because not all of these are going to fit in every campaign that the game master has made.
Right.
So be careful. You always do this with the game master present, so he or she will be able to, you know, nix anything that won't fit into the campaign right away. And remember, our first Steam giveaway is on. ! Ashes will get you in to win Ashes of Singularity Escalation right after my segment is over. So if you haven't done it now, do it now. ! Ashes. Go ahead. All right, now we're going to go into skills. All right, skills are all the abilities that you learn through study and practice. Now, in this game, magic, because spells are learned through study and practice, cost and are utilized exactly like skills. All right. Now, skills are based off an attribute. Every skill, driving, gunnery, kung fu, whatever, is based off of a stat, a primary attribute, depending on what's its closest analog. All right. Now, each if you want to buy a skill, the cost has 2 modifiers. You can see from this chart. First one is your final skill level. Do you want to just know it kinda? Like attribute -1, like your base attribute. Let's say, no, I'm going to get an example in a second. And the difficulty to learn. It depends on what the skill is. If it's hopscotch, that's easy. Difficulty is easy to learn hopscotch, unless you're, you know, quadriplegic, then probably not going to help you. But let's see, analytical chemistry, that's harder. It's going to cost more points to learn it, to become competent as an analytical chemist, than it will to become competent as a hopscotch artist.
One would hope.
Yes, one would hope. Here's an example. Driving automobile. All right. It is a dexterity-based skill. So that's our attribute. The difficulty to learn driving in the book is considered average. But let's say I want to be good at it. So I want to learn it at attribute +3. So I look in the chart below, attribute +3, and then I move over to average. That's 12 points. It'll cost me 12 points to get my dex +3 to roll for driving whenever I'm driving. Now, normally, if you're just driving, like normal driving, not combat driving, you don't have to roll. As long as you have the skill, you're fine. Just follow the rules of the road, you're fine. But in stressful situations, in combat, or running from the cops or bad guys or whatever, that's when you'd have to roll. Now, the default roll, if you don't have a skill, the default roll is usually, unless otherwise stated, The base attribute -5. Now, there are some skills that do not have a default. If you don't have the skill, you cannot even attempt it. Like the aforementioned analytical chemistry.
I was about to say, like,
Yes.
chemistry.
Most skills that are hard or very hard do not have a
Manual
default.
circuit design. Yeah, I would think so.
Manual circuit design. Yes. You need to have a modicum of training to even attempt skills like this. So there is no default. But stuff like driving and punching and kicking and jumping, those have skills, but they also default to strength, default to dex, default to IQ, whatever. You'll be able to attempt it even if you're not trained. All right, now, next we have backgrounds. Now, the backgrounds, some of these cost money, some of these don't. The way your character looks, age, beauty, build, whatever, almost none of this costs any character points, all right? Almost none of it. It's all up to you. You want to be short, fat, and bald? Go for it, man. You want to be tall, lanky, basketball player looking guy? Go for it, dude. Doesn't matter. Now, what does cost points when you get into social background, wealth and influence, friends and foes? Now, social background, were you born wealthy? That's going to cost you points. Were you born poor? Well, that'll give you some points back. Did you lose everything in the stock market and are now destitute? Well, that's a wash. You were born wealthy and then lost everything, so it ends up being 0. So it didn't cost or do anything. You just have a cool backstory now. Wealth and influence. Are you currently a CEO? Are you a billionaire that has the ear of presidents and kings? Or can you not get your pet listened to you when you say sit?
Yeah, why not both?
Maybe so. But wealth and influence will affect gameplay, so it costs points or it gives points back depending on your situation at the start of play. Friends and foes. Do you have servants? Do you have a bodyguard? Well, that's going to make combat a lot easier, isn't it? Do you have lots of friends who you can crash at their place if you need to, or hide your stuff, or help you move a body? Those are friends that cost character points. Do you have an arch rival, a nemesis? Well, you're going to get points back for that, depending on how competent the nemesis is and really how much he hates you. And identities. Now, I don't mean like secret identity. You know, secret identity is fine. This is different. This is like, do you have a burner identity? Like a burner passport with someone's name on it that's not you, but your picture in it. You know, do you have papers that you can jump into a false identity right away that cost character points? Or do you have a pseudonym? Are you a writer and you write under a pseudonym and you want to keep that secret for some reason? Stuff like that. When I say identities, it's things like that. All right, all of this is going to cost character points. Especially that fake passport. Don't think you're getting that for free. That's crazy. And then after that's all done, we have equipment. Equipment is great. You're done spending character points right now. You're done.
Oh, good.
Now you're spending money.
Oh.
Everyone gets a certain amount of money depending on the tech level of the world and what you bought for your background. All right. Modified, of course, the tech level of the campaign modified by your advantages or disadvantages. If you took the disadvantage of being very poor,
you're in trouble at this part.
Then it's going to be tech level -2. If you took the advantage of being very rich or the CEO of, say, Stark Industries, then your tech level starting money is going to be +4 or +5 or whatever. You know, because you live in a different world than normal people. That's how it works. Anyway, this is listed in dollars just to make it easier, but in your head, you can convert it to whatever you want. Drachmas, pesos, credits, dinero, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Quatlus.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. You know, I wouldn't go pesos or rubles or anything like that, but you can if you want, I guess. But not everything in the book is for sale. What I mean is the book lists everything you could possibly get in every kind of campaign, or tries to. But depending on the tech level of your campaign, some stuff just can't be bought. If you're in 1940s detective noir type world, you're not going to be able to buy a space laser. They don't exist. Sorry.
Aw.
Sorry. It's not going to happen.
Ruined my character concept.
I'm sorry. But depending on the tech level of your world, that will limit the equipment you can buy. Let's see here.
I'm just an unfrozen caveman with a orbital laser.
Cannot buy a giant robot named Gujango. Zhujiang? Okay. Well, you could, depending on the tech level of campaign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the overview. But right now, we're going to give away that first
Woo,
Steam
give
game.
it away.
We're going to see if I can give it away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, over 10. Okay. I can give it away.
Roll.
All right. Everyone ready?
It's a friend of children. Looks like a turtle.
I'll give you everyone 10 more seconds. 10 seconds. Exclamation
Yeah,
point
I think you're
ashes.
ripping off Gamera there.
Exclamation point ashes. Oh, Shift PC got in right under the wire.
Yes.
Right under the wire. Closing the giveaway. Picking a winner. Baldahar is the winner.
He's just gonna make you roll again. You know that, don't you?
Baldahar better not do that.
Oh,
Because
he's
every
going
time
to.
we do that, he wins twice in a row and makes everyone feel sad.
That is true. I think he likes making him feel sad.
Damn it, Baldahar.
He said I was gonna do it. See, he's gonna do it. But Gartha called me out. Oh,
Call me out.
I
There you
ruined it.
go.
Hashtag damn it, Baldahar.
Hashtag damn it, Baldahar. Okay. Baldahar wins. Ash of the Singularity. Congratulations.
We're all in envy of you, Baldahar.
We
and
are all
your
in envy.
skill and power.
Envy of your awesomeness. All right. Now, next time, next week, we're not going to be here. Garthon is going away. Max Liao is going away. I'll be here all alone. And Max Liao walk me through the process of annotating this video, and it takes 6 hours, so I'm not going to do that. So there won't be an episode next week, but we will be back. We will be back on the 1st, and we will be ready to go. And when I do come back and we hit another RPG slot, we've gone through the character generation, the outline of what to do and what does what. Then we're going to actually make a character and then put it through a combat and non-combat scenario. And I'm going to talk about how to advance your character through gameplay, how to use the experience you've gained during gameplay to advance your character. And, you know, it's going to be, some of it's going to make you stronger. Some of it's going to take away some disadvantages we may have bought. I'm going to work through all of that with you, and it's all going to be good.
Gary says, what will we do? Tell you what, I will live stream myself with my cell phone, driving back from the Grand Canyon with a car full of old people, because that's probably what I'll be doing.
That sounds so
That's
bad.
terrible. Absolutely
that sounds
awful.
terrible. That sounds terrible in all things. Okay, your thoughts?
No, yes, on Metalgarian.
Yes. What'd you think of this segment? All right. What are your thoughts on GURPS? I mean, it is one of those generic role-playing games because it's supposed to be a generic role-playing game. Have you played it before? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you have any suggestions for future RPGs? I got GURPS from a suggestion for future RPGs. So, and if you enjoyed this segment, please like and share it with all your friends. All your friends.
Absolutely.
And go ahead and comment on Discord. This is our Discord link. Go ahead and jump on our Discord and throw it up on Twitter, and we will respond because we do that.
Thank you very much. Remember, don't miss an episode. You can follow on Twitch and get notifications. And say, oh boy, notifications are great. Now I know what's happening. What's even better? Subscribe! And then you're available for subscriber-only giveaways and other benefits that only subscribers get. And also, don't forget YouTube. You can subscribe to get notifications. Bang, bang, bang. And then you will know immediately when a video of your favorite Legion of Myth streamer has been uploaded to the YouTube, so you can watch it at your leisure, as we say. Leisure. Yes. That is, I believe, the proper pronunciation.
I believe you are correct.
So then, tell you what, that's the best thing to do. If you want more Heathen Dogma, and you do, you can find it more on YouTube, like we just talked about. You should subscribe, you'll know when it's uploaded. And then you could go and see what has been upped. You can see anime on the streams, Tabletop Gaming Fundamentals of past games, such as Champions, Earthdawn, Equals Face, GURPS, Palladium, more team-ups with Garthon and other people in Star Trek Online, especially the Foundry. God bless the Foundry. Warframe, Secret World Legends, other games. And he streams on Twitch. Mondays, 8 p.m. Central, doing Portal 2 with Elgarian. Oh, that's awesome.
And Thursdays at 8:30 Central with you playing Empyrean.
And playing Empyrean. And basically, you get to watch him be a hero and run around, and you get to watch me, like, as his wacky sidekick, nearly drowning, getting dysentery, puking to death, falling off rocks, breaking my arm.
Well, you need to log in more.
Going into space without a helmet. That didn't work out either.
No.
So, yeah, that's what you get to watch. You know, watch basically, you're watching Goofus and Gallant go into space, and I'm Goofus. That's what happens. Thank you, Heathen Dog.
You are welcome.